And you'll do
Very fun.
education today, Tony? Tony, you can do education today?
Oh, I could probably do that.
Or maybe we should get Josh to do something more technical, business technical. Give us a little education. What do you think, Josh?
Hey, he's in the car, by the way. So I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
can, yeah,
I don't.
I
forget.
can do something. I have something.
Okay.
All right, now that
I
we're
mean,
live and everybody knows that we've just sorted out who's going to be talking next after I finish doing the intros, folks, welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange, the East End edition. And you know what? It's a fine, fine Monday morning. It's sunny outside, not too hot, not too cold, just a Goldilocks moment here. No porridge involved. And you know what? Let's share a screen and see what's going on, what you need to know about Phoenix. By the way, the website is pbx.ca. So you should be seeing a shared screen. And look, member of the week, a new member too. It's Kelly
woo!
here. It's Kelly.
Kelly, you're famous.
Well, had I known I would be famous, I definitely would have chosen a different outfit that day. But thank you for featuring me.
So Kelly is a new member. She's a realtor of our group, and you want to find out more about Kelly, hit the red button that says Kelly's e-card. And that's the information that how to reach her, any of the video feeds that are attached to it, stuff that she does. And just, or you can click on the video right here. We have 5 chapters inside Phoenix. This is one of them, the East End or Bell's Corners edition. Sorry. Wednesday is the East End edition. Thursday is the South End edition. And then we have a Thursday afternoon one at 1 to 2. The other 3 are 8 to 9 Eastern. September 2nd, we have an after hours group meeting at 7 p.m. hosted by Penelly Prevo. It's to help you stay on target with your goals, whether they're personal or business. East Trade Winds is meeting every Tuesday, 8 to 9 Eastern, and they're meeting tomorrow. Facebook Live Meditation, 1:30 p.m. with Herr Tony. And it also has a sound bathing event also happening on the 27th at 7 p.m. Phoenix Charity Golf Tournament, September 4th. It's coming really due, so only a couple weeks away. Please sign up, and so we can get everything squared away from that end. Penny's got the dance and movement as medicine with Nia classes. She's got a host of classes, and either online or in person. And these classes are meant to keep you, basically keep your joints lubricated. If not, then you'll have to go see Shane. Friends Friday Potluck, September 12th at 6:30 p.m. That's an in-person event. Bring food and share community. South End in-person meeting is, so remember I was mentioning the South group at Phoenix on Thursdays. Well, on the 28th, they are doing that in person at 07:30 a.m. You see somebody here, you go, hey, I want to know more about that person. QR directory, you just click that and follow the path. You pick the name and you'll have all the contact details. That refers to our e-cards system, and we've over 2,877 clicks on those cards. Why is that important? That means people have been able to find us, each individual person. They find out the contact details, etc. It's part of the marketing effort. It's part of the bonus of being a Phoenix member. We've done $4.9 million worth of business between now or since 2016 and now. And year to date, it's $149,405 in referrals. Make sure you shared your information with Tony. Keep the stats up to date. I'm going to hit the stop share button because you know what? Mr. Tony Ginnis is going to speak and tell us a story for a few minutes.
Tony, I do have an education if you don't have one.
Yeah, I do have something, but if you don't,
Okay, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is to do with marketing. When we are marketing our businesses, a lot of times we are just very product oriented or service oriented. Like let's say we take Josh's business. He fixes computers, he does networking and that kind of thing. So when you're doing your marketing, when you're doing even your infomercials, what you got to realize is people don't buy products. They don't buy services. They buy something that is innately connecting to them to solve a problem. Okay? So if we had to take his business, so people have 4 different motives for buying anything. It has to be one of these or more. The first thing is there needs to be a positive change in your life if they get this product or service. What positive change will they have? So in the case of, let's say, Josh's business as an example, all right, the positive change is I used to do all of my my IT. In other words, if there was something wrong with my computer, I would just shut the computer down, restart it, and see if that would work. And maybe a few other things that I might have tweaks on, all right? So by having somebody to do that, the positive change is that I can go about my business and do something else. All right, so there's a positive change. The next thing is there needs to be some improvement. So if I have already something, if there's an improvement, he could add like a service or something that would be really great. In other words, an improvement would be, I've already got Josh to take care of the computer, but then he has a package that is an antivirus program where nobody can get into my computer or get into my website. There's always people trying to get into websites to try and, pull credit cards or whatever off the site or whatever it is they're trying to do. A lot of times it'll leave the site that you can't manage. So that service will actually make it so that it protects my whole system. So it's an improvement of something I already have. So when you're doing your marketing, it's like, okay, if you've got this, what would be your mental and physical and other investment if somebody were to hack into your computer, somebody were to hack into your website? What would be that time? Those of us that have had that happen, it's not really like an hour investment. Sometimes it's all day. Sometimes it's a few days before you get up and running. With Josh, actually, if it's only an hour, so he's that good. But I've had cases in the past where I've had to wait, and then when I finally got the site back, there was stuff missing, and then I have to make sure that it's coordinated with other things that people are buying. If it is an e-commerce program, to make sure all the products are there, and I have to click it to make sure that those links are still working, right? So it's a huge investment. So that's an improvement. Another thing is some kind of transformation. So if you transform your whole business, in other words, from now on, I'm not going to do anything to anything to do with my computer. If something goes on, if Josh has a package that takes care of everything, so he'll bring in, let's say, a server. I'll have my own thing, and then he is managing the whole thing. That's the best. When I used to drive a truck when I was in my moving business, it was always a big deal to make sure the trucks are in good shape. So, when it would break down, usually it got very expensive because it was usually in the middle of a job or something. You're transporting a full truckload of furniture onto a new site, and then something happens along the way. Now you have a truck full of furniture, customers are waiting, guys are not doing anything on the side of the highway. What does that cost you? At one point, that cost me $3,000 for one day. But so the thing is, because you have to still pay your guys, and you have to take a tow truck and tow truck that truck over to the job site so you can at least start unloading and then do it again into the shop. Or you could get a company that takes care of all the maintenance. They say, okay, it's time to do the maintenance on your transmission. So that's a huge transformation in that sense. Okay, so that way you totally leave responsibility. So when you're marketing it at the point of what does it mean if you don't have this service? In other words, in the future, if you're taking care of all of the things, everything that you can possibly do in your business, you're taking care of it. All right, the transformation part is what time investment are you putting in for that? You're not focused on your business. You're not focused on your clients. And so that and you've got the energy of frustration and everything else, which changes a lot of things, in my world there. And the last thing is we're very result oriented. There has to be some immediate benefit if I get this service. One example is if you get a toaster, well, the immediate thing, I'm going to have toast right away. So it's very result oriented. So it depends on your business of how you want your clients or your potential customer to feel when they get your service. It's not that, he does IT. You turn it around to what the customer is getting. Wouldn't it be nice not to think about your computer ever again? Or in the case of Eric, wouldn't it be nice never to talk to CRA again? He would take care of it. Would it be nice to just have all of the books done and all the financials? Because I know people that have a boxes of taxes on their dining room table and they just can't get to it. It's just so frustrating and it brings up that pressure. So if that box could be gone and if it could disappear and everything's done, how much is that worth for you? You're looking at it in time spent and all the agony and going through all the numbers, which you don't want to do anyway, and being able to just solve this issue. So when you're marketing it, look at it from the point of what the customer is getting. It's 15% of when the customers and consumers are buying something is because of something they did in the past. So in other words, if you bought, let's say, a Toyota in the last car and you really liked it, chances are you'll probably get that car this time. The other part is 85% will buy because of future needs. So what am I going to get in the future? So in other words, if you're going back to Josh, if you're in that part where you're looking for what kind of service you need for your computer, what would be my potential investment if I don't get this? So in other words, it is a future decision. Well, I'll have more time for my business. I can focus on various things. And you make that purchase. And that's 85% of potential problems. Okay? So, and what would it take if I have to do, sell my own home or sell my own condo or what is it, all the showings and everything else. So when you're marketing it in the point of what the customer is going to be experiencing if they get your service or if they don't. Okay, back to you, Bernie.
Tony, thank you so much. And we're live on LinkedIn, and there is the post for following the crumb trail to that place. We're going to start a round robin of what's been going on, bands, referrals, etc. Our speaker today is Mr. Eric Sonego. So Eric will cap us off at the end of the session. And the fickle finger of fate says, "Hey, Kat, what up?" And then we'll go to Mike. Go ahead, Kat.
Hi. At least I was prepared, so I knew you were going to pick me first. So, sorry. So, keeping with the theme of marketing, that's what I do. I help people to be found and seen both on and offline. So, this week, what I'm looking for is very specific. I am looking for people who have websites or social media platforms, blog sites that are not up to date. The reason that this is something I'm looking at is in order for you to be seen, people need to have an up-to-date website, business address, phone number, logo, information about you. And I have seen so much in the last few weeks, people's information is outdated, which means people are not finding you. So if you or somebody you know has outdated information, I'd love to chat with them about how that can get updated. And I don't have any new BAMs since last Thursday. So sorry about that.
Yeah, you did one with me.
Oh, did I? Okay, I
Yep.
did one with Tony and I forgot.
Fantastic, by the way.
Sorry, Tony, didn't mean to forget you.
Thank you, Kat. And East Trade Winds. The link for registration for tomorrow at Tuesday between 8 and 9 is in the invite. Free to attend and come when you can. Mike and then Kara Lee. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Mike here representing Orr Motors, located in the heart of Stittsville. My role with Orr Motors is business and community development. So Orr Motors has an extensive inventory of pre-owned vehicles and specializes in late model luxury SUVs and late model high-end pickup trucks. You know what? A lot of people hate buying a vehicle, even in some cases more than going to the dentist. And why is that? Well, because buying vehicles can become a dance. Back and forth, mainly containing a lot of tension. Sometimes you feel like you're in the lion's den. So guess what? I have a solution for that. I take you out of the lion's den, which removes the tension. And how do I do that? Well, if you know somebody that might be in the market for a late model vehicle, please let me know and I will directly introduce that individual to Fred Orr, who's the owner of Or Motors who will make that experience an enjoyable one, and then that way they don't have to go through the staff and the whole process. So please give them my contact information that will be in the chat. Mike representing Or Motors, no dance required.
Mike, thank you so much. And so if you know someone that's a travel agent, have them reach out to Penny Lee. We are in need of one of those type of folks. And Carol Lee, and then we will swing over to Josh. Go ahead, Carol Lee.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We've had a very busy week here at the Canada Food Cupboard. I think August will be another record-breaking month for us based on the number of families that we've seen the first 2.5, 3 weeks of the month. Sadly, we're continuing to break records. July was a very, very busy month as well. With that being said, in addition to our regular food programs that we have here, we had a busy week last week simply because we had our pop-up thrift event. And I know some of you have donated to that in the past. We had a successful event. Lots of families came through on Monday, and we were able to help a lot of families get new items for back to school and some sporting goods and things like that. So that was wonderful. But our focus this week is getting ready for our back to school program. Distribution happens on Monday, the 25th. So next Monday. As of Thursday, just to give you some updated numbers, we had 316 families register, so about 832 children. But that was Thursday. Cutoff for registration was last night, so I don't have an update as of last night. I'm sure we'll be hitting the 850 mark when it's all said and done. We are short supplies, so we have a call out to our community. We're short approximately about 350 backpacks for high school students. So if anyone has an extra backpack lying around or knows of anyone that we can hit up to help us with that, we're going to be doing a big push this week to try to make sure we have enough for everybody come Monday when distribution happens. Thank you all, and wishing you all a great week. Take care. And visit our website anytime, canadafoodcupboard.ca.
Carly, thank you so much. And speaking of Canada Food Cupboard, the golf charity golf tournament, 9 holes, and it's $88. And you get a cart and you zoom around, best ball. Shane, if you're available, or is it Josh that I said? Josh, there you go.
I think you said me.
Go for it,
yeah.
sir.
Thanks, Bernie. Good morning, everybody. I'm Josh Lamb from Sterling Grace Technologies. First, I'd like to thank Tony Guyanis for that amazing infomercial he did for me. So if you're looking for technology services, call Tony and he'll tell you to call me. So that's why we do these events. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, so half of what we do is technology support. Anything from my computer won't turn on, or I don't know how to use my computer. My email's not working, my Excel spreadsheet's not doing what I think it should, all the way up to disaster recovery and support of your critical systems and hardware and software, and backup solutions is tied to that intimately. And then we also have custom software development, and that starts with brochure-based websites, and it then continues with e-commerce websites, and then it goes all the way up to custom software that runs your business and allows you to scale in a way that you as an individual or even your team as a series of individuals can't do on their own. And so we make it possible for your business processes to run the same way consistently every time, and for your customers to have a consistently good experience every time, and for you to make a consistent profit every time. And that equals scalability. So you can build your business up into something that might take 3 times the number of staff, team members, and then your existing team members can run that business based on what you have. We're working with a number of AI solutions lately, and specifically integrating with ChatGPT. And so that can be, first of all, it's things like building a database for your business to account for what you do, how you do it, who you do it for, and why you do it. And then we can use AI to do analytics on that type of data. We recently had a customer that is in the business of essentially matchmaking and hiring, and we helped them write a piece of software that would take their existing resumes, apply custom questions that their clients could ask, and basically then grade all of the resumes that came in on a scale of 1 to 10, and then do a weighted average, which would help them qualify and narrow down the resumes that they were receiving. And so ChatGPT was an integral part of that, based on a previous job posting that we just saw last week of where 185 applicants came in. It was able to analyze on 10 points and basically grade the top 20 resumes, and then the organization was able to look at those resumes and find pro stars that could just take their business to the next level. So, and that saved them probably 8 hours of work going through 100 plus resumes. And so if you're looking for ways to leverage technology to stop having it just cost you money and to start having it make you money, then we are the people to call. I'm Josh Lamb. I'm your Chief Technology Officer, CTO. And if you want your tech to make you money, give SGT a call. Thank you.
Josh, thank you so much. Next quick promo is Mike Wazowski. If you need someone to backfill for your absence from one of these sessions, reach out to Mike. If your calendar coincides with his, perfect, and he'll come in and do your infomercial. We'll do Kelly and then Dwight. Kelly, over to you, ma'am.
So I'm doing my quick infomercial. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you do for a living, and any BAMs or referrals other than poison ivy?
Okay, what I do for a living is not get very, very ill because of a plant that wants to kill me, otherwise known as poison ivy. I'm a professional real estate agent. I work in both the Ottawa as well as the Toronto markets and everywhere in between. Predominantly, my passion is selling. However, I really also love working with buyers. If you're in a jam and you're looking for a lease, I can definitely either help you or get you the best referral possible. So what I do is a little bit different than most real estate agents. I actually do custom tailored service for the client, meaning I work with their individual timeline, I work with their personal goals, and I have a bit more of a holistic approach in terms of making sure that the health and well-being of their entire family is being cared for, including their pets. So I spend a lot of individual one-on-one time cultivating, preparing, and educating. I really believe in empowering clients. They have to know and understand what is happening, and I will spend hours upon hours answering questions, educating, clarifying, showing them the law, showing them different options, and referring to a multitude of different service professionals so that they are empowered. They're the ones steering the ship, not me. I am here to coach them and guide them and give them my professional advice. But ultimately, an individual's home is their asset, the biggest asset they own, most likely, most often. And so I do everything I can to really affirm their choices and to help them make the best choices on all measurements. That's me in a nutshell.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Next quick promo, if you're doing a BAM, a good place to stop is at Hive. They have a bistro, and they also have a co-working space, and that's kind of a cool place, and it's central to Ottawa. Dwight and then Shane. Dwight, over to you, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Can you hear?
Yep, I can hear you.
Let me see if I can get it.
Hey, Dwight, are you still there, sir? Shane, are you available? And we'll circle back to Dwight.
What's up, everybody? Dr. Shane Brown here for Proactive Health and Performance. Just want to touch base. I usually touch base with some of my clients after we've seen them, as in WSIB, some of the MVAs, or discharge or vacations. Anyways, I was talking to one that we had worked with. She was a really sweet lady, a WSIB for a concussion, which, if you know about working with WSIB, it's not exactly a smooth train. I know we all get that insurance, but they do push you back to work pretty quickly. And then they start kind of garnishing wages, almost like, if you can't make it there for 4 years like we're expecting you to do, then we're not going to be paying you for that and stuff like that. And they even talk to me. I'm the one treating them, right? They have all these scripts saying if you don't go back to work, you're not going to be going back to work at all, which isn't always true. I understand the rush to get them back into the routine of things and, getting them to be back on the horse because it's kind of nice to stay at home sometimes. Not for the most part, most people are looking to actually go back to work because it's part of their life and they love doing it and they like their job for the most part. We don't always like every single part of our job, but that's part of it as well. Anyways, so when I'm doing getting them back to work for concussion wise, it usually takes a lot longer than it does to get like a regular musculoskeletal injury back into key. So we're looking at 8+ weeks, that they're going to give you, and then it's like, oh, rush them back to work. Well, if you can't go up ladders, or if you can't turn your head, or you can't focus on a screen for more than an hour, guess how many breaks you're taking, right? Lots of breaks. And most people are better at, the companies are acknowledging this is what the problem is. We need to address and give them accommodation. So blocking of the lights, letting them have breaks every hour or so, all of those things. So if you're able to do those things, that's great. And if your company is helping you, we love that part. So I had my one patient that went into WSIB, came back. She was referred to CBI, which is one of the big case management cases. That's more of an information put in. She gave me a great kind of testimonial, and she basically was saying that they gave me a psychologist and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, they just did the rudimentary kind of detail, not detailed, but like rudimentary assessment. Watch this pen go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of just what it is. You have to be detailed when this comes. Everyone's individually based, as in some things bother them, some things don't. You really need to find, is it your vestibular system, but is it your otolith? Is it your saccule? There's different things that you need to look at, and what side does it go to? And she's like, they couldn't even touch what you did. They don't use peppermint. They don't use laser. They don't use the meditation things. They don't use, non-sleep deep breaths. They don't do the balancing and having the eyes closed and then stimulating the one side so it actually gets more sensitized. Well, lots of different things that they're not doing. So I was really happy to hear she, loved our assessment, and we're all different than others. Our quality's higher. What we do is much more in depth, and we're helping people along the ways. We're not speeding up by years, but weeks. That's what WSIB doesn't do. So before you start thinking about using your WSIB, think about sometimes the hassle that it's going to be with, and then the petition that you're in might be actually better than what you're going to be sent to. All right, that's my long spiel for WSIB and everything else. We're looking for a physio to come in immediately into our office because we had one that just didn't work out. And so our other one's on mat leave. So someone that's an amazing physio, if you guys know anybody, please contact me. We are looking very immediate. So it's crucial that we get one because we want to keep that flow going for the physio appointments and patients. Thank you very much. I'm sure this is after health and performance. We see results, so should you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. So the next one, if you know someone who is a tailor and does alterations, custom sewing, I'll let Penny Lee know. And Dwight, over to you. Just you have to unmute yourself. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Dwight and Nicole from Tasty Life Catering. We're the vegan Caribbean specialists. We specialize in just creating the most tasty vegan Caribbean food in this side of Ottawa. We specialize in creating vegan patties, specialties, 3 flavors right now: chicken, beef, and a curry chickpea and spinach. This past week, we were at 613 Market this past weekend. I gained a busy spot in Ottawa for everyone. We had quite a few festivals that went on this week, but 613 is always a hopping spot. And I guess this past week too, I just finished the last day at Pure Kitchen. So we're right now in the prep for the food truck that's going to be over on Bank Street, 8717 Bank Street, and hopefully we're looking to get open for this Thursday or Friday. We have a little bit of paperwork still to be done, but for the most part, everything seems to be all in line and pretty exciting. But also a lot of a lot of things to get prepped and ready to get everything going. But we will have all our vegan specials there, but we'll indulge in a little bit of a few meat dishes, possibly some jerk chicken or curry chicken. That'll be on the menu for those that do not know us as the vegan specialists. But hopefully we'll have quite a bit of traffic over a little bit. But we'll put out when we'll be open, and hopefully anyone in the area can pop in and have a bit of our tasty treats that we deliver on a consistent basis. No BAMs, just prepping for a lot of things that we have on the go. And that's it for now.
Dwight, thank you so much. If you have an event that you want to share with everybody, either it is a business event that's rolling up, maybe not necessarily Air Canada attendant strike on a Sunday afternoon at the airport. However, that said, if there's business to be had, there you go. You share that information. I'm going to swing over to Jacqueline and then Tony. Jacqueline, welcome back. And you defeated the internet bug.
I love my internet. Not. Anyway, so all that said, I will not be defeated. We can always find a way. And that was me taking a long, deep breath as I walked out my front door. I lifted my shoulders, I took them back, I released them down, and I said words like, I will not be defeated. And I want my clients to feel that way too. There's ways that we can connect when we're talking about mortgages and money and how we can make it happen and what the next stages are. What is what's their next opportunity offering? Let's take a look and find out what we can offer. And that's what I do. I help them open those doors. When they're looking for strategies for their mortgage money, they always want to contact the undefeated Mortgage Honey.
I love it. Actually, Jacqueline, thank you so much. And we're going to swing over to Sam in a second and then Tony. Next quick promo is Freshly Brewed Coaching. It's my co-host on the Knack for Business, Wayne Pratt and Matt Hawksley, have a book that's out there. And Sam, welcome back to Ottawa area, man.
Thank you, Bernie. Yes, it's good to be back in Ottawa. Going to be catching up on all the work that I got coming out to me. Actually, I might have to get out early because someone's dropping off a car in the next few minutes. Anyway, Sam Sturz ConnectedCars.ca, especially his dash cameras, things like that. Also do minor repairs, oil changes, and brake jobs. And well, I got a wheel bearing, two of them this morning that we're working on. So if you have somebody that has an issue with their vehicle, I don't mind trying to help them out one way or another. If I can't do it, I'll advise them places where I can get it done. BAMS wise, move into that. Eric, I'm going to see him later this week. He has a brake issue. Mike, first of all, I want to say thanks to Mike Wolotsky there for helping out last Wednesday. He filled in for me last minute. I appreciate that very much, Mike. Thank you. And I'm going to be giving him some options for his mother's backup camera. Let's see here. Besides that, Bernie, I think you said you had an issue with your wife's vehicle. Hopefully we'll get you in and take a look at that. Always. And Terry Black asked me to look at her brakes. She had a reminder from the dealership, and I want her to make sure that she doesn't, she follows her warranty so she doesn't break that warranty, but I'd gladly take a look at her brakes for her. That's it for me. I know Eric's coming up shortly, so I'll move over to him. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics about the cost of the vehicle and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. This is from East Trade Winds. It's an opportunity. It's cyber training for keeping yourself safe. It helps support, in other words, anti-phishing process, and it trains people in a positive way. And we're going to swing over to Tony, and go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I do readings, and if you are doing anything regarding whether it's a change of business, whether you're bringing in a partner, whether you're expanding your business and you're going to be putting some serious money in it, on top of all the research you're going to do, come in for a reading to see what Spirit has in store, because there's always something that we can add to everything else that you're doing. Most times it's to confirm that you're on the right track, but there might be some caveats that you haven't perhaps thought of. All right. So let us know about that. If you haven't done a BAM with me, I know Kelly has come in a couple of times, and but if you haven't done a BAM with me, come on in. We'll give you a tuning session, which is about an hour, hour and a half of personal balancing, just so you could feel what it's like. It's just like driving a car. You take it for a test drive. If you like the feel, you'll probably buy the vehicle. So it's a great way to do that. On the 27th of August, I'm doing a sound bath again. I do this monthly, and it's basically whether you come in virtually or whether you come in person. I have space for both. It's a 2-hour meditation type of a thing, and bring a question that you've always wanted to answer, and this will draw that answer out of you. You have all the answers, so we have a way in which we can get that for you. Bring somebody in that's going through a rough time, and we're definitely going to lighten their energies by the time they leave. Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits.
Thank you, Tony. And for myself, the Mac for Business podcast. You can do that. I do some other side jobs such as connect people. Jacqueline just posted something where I've taken a piece of the video that she posted and put a kind of an intro and extra into it. So, and Jacqueline, absolute pleasure. And that might be another part of the business of the Creative Insight universe that's up and coming. And so thank you for also letting me take that message and share it. East Trade Winds, come on in, free to visit. There's a YouTube channel in there. You'll see the most regular people that do great presentations, such as like Cyberhood, what it's all about. Doesn't conflict with Josh. It just helps train people not to click on things shouldn't touch in the first place. And the odds are everybody will be scammable. I'm going to stop there because you know what, Eric, I think we've had enough runway, and everybody kind of had a long-winded sessions at different points. Eric, over to you, sir. On mute.
Thank you, Bernie. I see that most of us are having a internet challenging week. That's one of the reasons I'm late, because I didn't want to do this presentation or this meeting with my iPad in my car, because I see the results of that. So I decided to run back into the office and have wired help.
We thank you.
I didn't know I was a speaker today, but an accountant can always speak on anything anyways. So when I don't have a topic that I've researched for the group, I always fall back on record keeping, because record keeping is the speech I give to, I would say, 50% of my clients when they come for their year end. Now, in reality, 30% of the people we deal with do not do any record keeping. They're aware they're not doing any record keeping. They bring the box, their bank statements, their credit cards, they put it on the table and they say, see you. That's 30% of my clients, or any accounting office clients. 45% think they do book record keeping, but in reality don't do record keeping. But they think they do record keeping, and they go on their merry selves with their Excel sheets and their QuickBooks Online and all that kind of stuff, and they think they do record keeping. That could be more expensive than the guys who don't do any record keeping, because if they have problems or they make mistakes, that's where the fees go up. And 25% actually do record keeping. And actual record keeping is when someone brings you a jump drive with a finished trial balance, with a finished report with finished filings of tax, of GST and WSIB and all that kind of stuff. And we do accounting work as opposed to bookkeeping work. So what is bookkeeping? And this is why the confusion reigns about what bookkeeping is, or record keeping is. What is record keeping? Record keeping depends on who you are. If you are a multi-level marketing person, selling, I don't know, pen ink, okay, or anything like that, okay, that you get into the system. You might not need that elaborate record keeping, because if your sales are under $30,000 a year, the government will be, looking at you as a marginal business. Some people who have $30,000 a year, however, are not marginal businesses. You could be someone who's operating from your house and who does a lot of $100 to $150 sales, and that makes it a lot of sales. So the difference between $30,000 a year multi-level marketing, where the sales are accidental, and $30,000 a year where the sales are proactive, makes one of them need bookkeeping and the other one not. We have 2 or 3 multi-level marketing people who do their income tax. I don't even believe what they tell me. And since we do their taxes, we're tax preparers, we're not accountants. On the other hand, I have lots of people who have between $30,000 and $50,000 a year in sales, that we need to be careful in what we report, how we report it, and how we help the client, because those people tend to become larger clients if they do their work properly. The other question we ask ourselves is, who needs this record keeping? Now, a lot of people do not go beyond themselves. So, take Sam. Sam does his business, and he doesn't go beyond himself in the record keeping. He gives his information to his accountant. His accountant does his personal taxes, and that's it. If there's a problem, it's between Sam and the government on what Sam has reported. But nobody else is going to see it, just Sam and the government, or Tony and the government, or Jacqueline and the government. And those people do not account that much of a problem in the practice, because we do their taxes, and we make sure that their taxes are defensible. In other words, the last person you convinced on your tax return is me. You have to convince me that what you told me is right. And we will question you, and we will put tests on it, and we will ask you questions that will make us believe whether you are doing that or not doing that. The problem is not in people telling me that their sales are high. The problem is in people doing sales that are high and telling me their sales are low. And we up until last year, we had a client that had an HVAC business, and this guy was reporting sales that had his cost of goods higher than his sales. In other words, when you have your cost of goods higher than your sales, you're telling me that you bought this pen for $10 and you're selling it to me for $5. Now, someone out of school might say, well, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, someone who's in accounting will say, that guy is doing a lot of cash business. That's why his expenses are high and his sales are low. because nobody in their right mind is going to send you an HVAC, a heating system for less, sell it to you for less money than it costs them. It's usually parts plus labor. It's not parts minus labor. And when that happens, we say we cannot defend it. If the client does not agree with us, we drop the client. Because we don't want to insult the government. We don't want to insult, anybody who reads that tax return. Because it does, in real life is not like that. You don't buy something for $10 and sell it for $5. If you do that, you're out of business after a year. This guy's in his business for 25 years. So how can you be in business for 25 years subsidizing, like I would tell him to come to Phoenix and promote himself because, he's giving to you, free stuff. He's not making any money. So those people do not do record keeping for a purpose. They want to cheat the government. And what happens is they're cheating themselves. One of the problems they have is if you rebuild their income statement to reality, then they owe HST. Well, of course, they don't agree with you because they've already spent the HST. So those people are not people that you want to deal with either as an accountant, as a lawyer, or as a supplier. Now, who wants record keeping? Does anybody know who wants record keeping? Like, who in the world wants your records?
Government.
Government. That's right. Government is the only reader of records for a small business. However, there are other people who might want your records as you grow. If you are incorporated and you have shareholders, especially if you have shareholders that are not as visible as other shareholders in the company, they want to see your records. They want to make sure they're prepared properly and that their money is protected. If you are a nonprofit organization and you have members, they want to see your records because they don't want to see the executive director drive a 300,000 BMW and no money in the bank, right? So people tend to believe that. So if you have other income and you're in a nonprofit organization or you're married to someone who has a big income job, sometimes you have to have excellent records in your nonprofit because everybody thinks that the money for your lifestyle came from the nonprofit. So as long as the two people in the marriage are poor, you're okay. It's one of you does something outside the marriage, and then the person in the nonprofit is still doing, the nonprofit work, and then the members of the nonprofit will think that, oh, look at her, she has that $1 million house. How did she get that? She must be cheating. She must be taking the money. So that's why nonprofit organizations have to have very good record keeping. And that's why most of them have audits. Other people that might need your records, it depends, like you can be in a business like real estate, where at first, you're working for someone and you just do your taxes and if everything is done, realistically, nothing happens. Or you can be in real estate and hire other real estate agents and become a broker. And if you're a broker, the Ontario Real Estate Association and people like that want to see your records. You need to report those records. So it depends who you're reporting to and you're talking when you have record keeping. Now, because of that, the simplicity of record keeping changes from business to business. Some business have very complicated record keeping. Take Circle K. Circle K has the type of bookkeeping that none of us here will ever have. because of the complexity of that business. They have alcohol sales, they have retail food sales, and they have gasoline sales. Gasoline sales is mandated by the government and taxed by the government, and that has to be that's checked by a government assessor. The retail side is based on one package of gum or one chocolate bar per customer 1,000 times a day. The T4, the employment side of reporting, in a Circle K, you might see two people there, but you might not see the same two people there every time you go, which means that that business probably hires 400 people during the year at part-time fees and part-time work. When you do that, you have to report 400 T4s a year, and you have to have a very elaborate, payroll system. So I don't want to frighten you, but you have to know where you fall in line into the record keeping side, whether you are a simple record keeping person or you're a Circle K person. And that will it becomes self-evident anyways, because you have Circle K, you will go crazy without record keeping. You will commit suicide. You won't know what's happening. You have a nervous breakdown. And if you're a simple person, you know that you it's all within you. You're doing your sales, you're paying your expenses, and that's it. And you might need an accountant, to have another opinion, but you can do it with it yourself. Are there any questions, or did I frighten everybody off already?
Yeah. Any record keeping, I guess, makes us speechless.
We're terrified, Eric. Thank you.
Excuse me. There is no reason to be terrified. If you really do not want to do record keeping, but you want to have a good life with your accountant, then invest in at least a filing system that breaks the expenses per type. So that telephone is with telephone, advertising is with advertising, all of that kind of stuff, in files, and then we can then take that, add it up, and enter it. Once we add everything up, then you will get a call to come and visit us, because then we'll review it with you to make sure that you know what you're doing. But that's the simplest form of record keeping. We believe that every business should have the simplest form possible for that business of bookkeeping. You don't want to make it too difficult for anybody. You want to make sure that people can manage it. You don't do it so that people get lost, and at the end of the year they don't they don't know where they're going. Now the other thing I will tell you, if you have a business that, I don't want to pick on the real estate agent, but take the real estate agent. A real estate agent has a SIC code, which means that it's an industry code that you have to put in his or hers or his tax return. And what that means is that when that tax return goes in, it gets reviewed against all of the same codes, because compared to all of the other real estate agents. So if you're a real estate agent, in downtown Ottawa with a catchment base of 100,000 people, you'll be compared to every real estate agent with a catchment base of 100,000 people. And that's where that's where the letters come from CRA to get more explanations. Unfortunately, the people who get the most letters from CRA tend to be people over 75 years old who are sick and have, for the first time in their lives, 3 pages of medical expenses. CRA does not believe they're sick. So we need to keep our sanity when we talk to CRA. And usually when you talk to someone who's 25 years old, they don't know that they're going to get sick when they're 75. So you have to tell them that as well, right? You have to say, it's coming for you as well, buddy. And you're going to be spending this kind of money. But it's difficult to convince them that someone in their 80s needs special care and has to pay for it and it's deductible. It's okay to pay for it, but don't deduct it. And that's the arguments we have with them. And usually, you know, all we need is a manager who's older than the CRA person, a manager in their 50s, and then we talk to the manager in their 50s, and lo and behold, they understand, because they usually have parents who are spending that kind of money.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, folks, cap us off with a quote for the day. Don't explain your philosophy